What's up, beautiful people, and welcome back to another comic book review video where I say words and you, the magically delicious, listen. It is I, your crazy Nicolas Cage, your steward of Gondor, your genius, billionaire playboy, basic YouTuber philanthropist, SuperCliff. And would you guys be ever so kindly as to smash that like and subscribe button, because every little bit helps in this crazy YouTube world. And today, guys, we are back at it with DC's new Man of Steel, Superman, Son of Kal-El, issue number 2, written by DC's Golden Boy, Tom Taylor, pencils and inks by John Timms, with the colors by Gabe Eltiab. I butchered your name, and I deeply apologize. And thus, without further ado, let's get freaky. Alrighty, folks, so our story starts off with a live stream that's playing off of John's cell. And while John is up and about, getting ready for the day, the streamer channel, which is called The Truth, is reporting about a boatload of asylum seekers who have escaped the nation of Gomorrah and are currently en route for Metropolis. Because apparently, this country that these people are escaping from, they've pulled a North Korea, advertising itself as this awesome, glorious utopia. But in truth, it's a place filled with death and destruction. Now, once John is finished getting dressed, we find out that he's been getting ready for his first day of college. And now Jonathan, he wants this experience to be a normal one, because he knows that if he attends college as his regular self, then everyone will know that it's the new Superman, the son of Clark Kent Superman and Lois Lane. So because of this, he had Batman and Barbara Gordon pull some strings, by calling in a lot of favors in order to help create an alter ego for John's college career. His secret identity being Finn Connors, who moves at the speed of light of a 2002 Cord Motors Jeep. From there, we pan away over to John's college, where we see all the students show up, but unbeknownst to everyone, we see this kid named Kyle prepping up his gun, loading bullets, carved with the words, thoughts and prayers. So yeah, this dude is about to make a statement. And as Kyle begins to fire upon a group of innocent students, John immediately blows his cover and apprehends Kyle, like a boss, dodging bullets left and right, whilst taking bullets to the chest, like a badass mofo. Now, although John was able to stop the shooter from causing some serious harm, the unfortunate part about this is that everyone now knows that Finn Connors is Jonathan Kent, and that he's the son of Superman. And from there, everyone starts to take pictures of John. Whether people are tweeting or are Snapchatting the situation, everyone is trying to get a piece of John. And so, not wanting to be swarmed by people, John takes off with his Jeep, takes off and travels to the moon, where both John and Superman catch up, having their typical father and son discussion. And as these two sit here together, staring at Earth, a large planet that's floating amongst a larger universe, the two of them start to get philosophical. Because from John's perspective, he views the world as a place where people within it can do a lot more. However, right now as it stands, the oceans are struggling, forest fires are an everyday event, division and tribalism are at the forefront. Basically, everything that's happening is because people aren't paying attention. They are more concerned with their selfish desires, and so knowing that his father sees the same thing that he sees, he asks his dad as to why he doesn't do more. And it's definitely a legitimate question. Superman is this almighty being. Why doesn't he do more? Why doesn't he just attempt? Yet Superman's response is purely due to the concept that he wasn't born on Earth. He's merely adopted Earth as his home. And because of his power, his grand status that he holds with the utmost responsibility, he explains to John that it wouldn't be appropriate for him to interfere, simply because he wasn't a product of Earth. And so from his perspective, Superman can help, but he cannot lead, except by example, which, he does through the Justice League. However, Superman tells John that this is his planet, and because he's a product of Earth, John has more of a say when it comes to Earth's policies and its own self-care. Afterwards, Superman takes John to the Fortress of Solitude. Once there, he gives John the key to the fortress. But not only is he giving him that, but he also presents John with a box. And inside of it is one of the first suits that Clark's mom fixed up for him during his early days as Superman. Now, John asks the question as to why. Why now is his father giving him all this stuff? And Superman tells him that he was going to give this to John on his 18th birthday. But at the moment, Superman needs to attend to some matters on Warworld. And so because of that, he fears that he won't have a chance to properly do so the way in which he wanted to. Now, once John returns home, he starts to watch more of the Truth stream that he was watching earlier. And Truth is giving updates about the boat full of refugees heading towards Metropolis. But it appears that something bad is happening, for it sounds like the boat is about to capsize. And as we pan over to these people, it seems that they're not going to make it. Their boat's about to drown in the middle of the ocean. People are falling out of the boat. It's a really bad situation. But luckily, John Kent, Superman himself, flies over to save these people from drowning, whilst wearing the suit that his father had given him. And once he rescues all of those people who were tossed overboard, John lifts up the boat and he carries it to safety, bringing it over to Metropolis Harbor. And upon arrival, everyone is shown to be happy. Everyone's cheering, people are celebrating. However, as all the refugees start to make their way off of the boat, while John is, in the middle of taking off into the sky, things begin to turn upside down because the police officers start handcuffing the refugees. And upon seeing this and being like, what the fuck, John flies back down and he blasts the cuffs right off. Afterwards, the cops try to explain to Superboy that this is policy and that they're not trying to be vindictive. It's simply what they were meant to do whenever a situation like this occurs. And though this is portrayed in an extremely unethical way, policy, the mandate itself, is still understandable. It is still required. And sure, obviously these people are refugees, but not everyone, knows that. I mean, who's to say that these people are not all supervillains? And the world of the DC universe, that could be the case. But through consideration, the cops agree that these people are not a threat. And so instead of using excessive force, they basically take the handcuffs off. And while the cops are handling the situation with Superboy observing everyone's actions, the streamer who John's been watching, the guy named Truth, shows up to confront Superboy. And upon his arrival, Truth takes off his mask, revealing that it's one of John's fellow college classmates, who he met earlier in this issue, and his real name being Jay Nakamura. Now, Jay lets John know that he probably doesn't realize as to what he just did, as to what his actions just instigated, because seemingly a lot of powerful people across the world didn't want these refugees to make it here alive, to spread the true narrative regarding the nation of Gamora and how its president is nothing more than a tyrannical tyrant. And due to Superboy's actions, President Henry Bendis will do whatever it takes to destroy him. And that, folks, was Superman, Son of Kal-El, issue number 2. And much like the last issue, Tom Taylor is basically showcasing to us, rather depicting on how a Gen Z Superman would react to all the world's bullshit with regards to policy, politics, and foreign intervention. And with that, the book is asking questions as to why we as human beings let bureaucracy stand in the way of what's clearly right. And we see that displayed brilliantly throughout the entire issue. And it's not like Tom Taylor is saying that we need to do a better job and he's force-feeding that narrative down our throat, but rather he's also asking the question through John as to why Superman doesn't do a better job. And it's a legitimate question. And though it isn't the same to where Batman's presence enables villains such as the Joker, along with what's happening in Fear State, it's basically similar. Like, you have Superman, this almighty being who has a heart of gold, and rather than solving the world's problems, he instead punches monsters and villains like Lex Luthor. And so at the end of the day, whether he knows it or not, he's essentially ignoring the world's problems. Therefore, you have John getting directly involved, yet despite his good intentions, John's successes are treated as failures, because despite saving people, ignoring bureaucracy, the rules and the way in which certain situations are treated are fucked up in their core. And so I'm curious to see where this leads John going forward. Now, the art in this book was good, and overall, it wasn't great. For some of the facial structures on a lot of the characters' faces were completely off and a bit inconsistent, but by no means was this horrible. In fact, a lot of the pages where it's a very simple color palette, scenes like where John is saving the boat full of people, or the book's last page featuring the Gamora dictator, those looked great, and so too did the colors. Hopefully for the future books, the art is able to hit me in a better spot, but for right now, it's decent. But overall, this was another great issue from Tom Taylor, and I cannot wait to see what else the Son of Kal-El has in store. Superman, Son of Kal-El, issue number 2 gets an 8.5 out of 10. Giggity goo. Oh